wide, and Hughes drives gloriously. What a lovely straight drive. Just on the offside. But it beats Boycott, who's fairly square of an extra cover position, and runs very quickly away downhill for 4 runs. It's the best shot of the morning, without any question. Hendrick de Boll to Hughes. Well up. Hughes defensive.
The last 2 Test matches, we've seen a completely new attitude in the minds of the Australian batsmen. They've looked far more assured, far more mature. It's as though they've come to Test match stature in a couple of months.
That one's eased off the edge. It beats Gooch at third slip. It's running down to the fence. A long chase for Embry. He won't cut it off. That's 4 to Hughes from not a particularly confident stroke. Off the inside edge of the bat, racing down towards the boundary. Boycott's around to cover it, but he can't prevent 2 runs being taken from the bat of Darling. Darling now into the 40s. And Australia on to 79. What is it that a fast bowler can do to regain rhythm, Frank, once it's lost?
Well, I think it's almost a feeling. It's a feeling of being good at the wicket at the moment of delivery. I think you've got to establish a point in your run-up where you feel that you're absolutely perfect, and a few more strides will get you into the perfect bowling position.
Willis to Darling. Again off the outside edge. And back for 2. Bit of weakish throw from Boycott allows Darling, who's very, very quick, to scamper back for that second run. An element of danger in that. But the batsmen are safely back. 81 on the board now, and Darling on 42.
That was an interesting piece of cricket, with Boycott only being tested by a single on the previous occasion, and now the batsman put him under pressure. He's slow in coming in, the batsmen realise it, they go through for a single and dash back for the second run, and Boycott's return was not quite good enough.
Oh, a lovely back cut. Off the meat of the bat, Darling in superb position. But there's only a single as Embry comes in and sends a lovely throw back to Taylor.
Willis to Hughes. An appeal for caught behind that, or rather for leg before, rather. Appeal for leg before behind the wicket that time. Now, Willis reacting rather late, and that suggests to me there may have been just a fraction of that, but let's watch this again.
Yes, once again, very short, and going up, I would think, over the top of the stumps, hit the top of the pads.
Well, there was no confidence in the appeal. Here's the close-up view.
Kim Hughes goes back, cuts back nicely on him, and that was clearing the top of the stumps.
And he almost played that on. That must have just missed the stumps. He looked back in horror, but the stumps are still intact.
I would have thought that's bounced over the top. It seemed that close. Let's have a look, though. Inside edge, well away from his body, and that had to bounce over the top of the stumps.
Willis bowling. And wide of the slip, that was off the edge. It's down towards the boundary. Boycott will get this. And they'll come back for an easy 2, but Willis a little bit unlucky there.
Yes, that was a fine delivery that time. Once again, pushing Darling back, and the ball cut away from him. Let's have a look. It's time to see Darling going across, and cuts away. Outside edge, unfortunately for Darling, dropping short and wide.
Both in the fieldsman in slips, and Boycott the fieldsman at third man. Now it's 1 for 85 with Darling on 45. Now a good, that one he did, is taking his bat away. That's Willis is getting some lift there.
Yes, Darling's tried to take his bat away from this, and it's followed it and hit the middle of the bat. Look at this. He's tried to pull it, but
and they go for a run. That brings it up to 86 to give us 30 this morning in the first hour, and Darling is 46. And that's just wide of Botham. They're not. There's danger here if they run, and players going everywhere. It hit, and Botham says to Randall, aim at the stumps, not at me. It hit Botham on the foot. And
he's having a good trot, Botham. He's getting it from both the batsman and the fieldsman lately. Look at it, he's not too pleased about that.
Now Botham to bowl to Hughes. Just a hint that the nor'easter is springing up. Just to be round a bit to the north at the moment.
I think you'll find this will be the pattern for a long while today, with off spinners one end and the medium paces coming down from this Paddington end.
I've just got the impression what breeze there is at the moment, maybe just a little bit of northwest. And that went through him, came back between bat and pad.
Someone out there now, either Hughes or Darling, must make the decision to try and move the score along.
Yes, first short one, and the way it goes, not well timed. They might get two here. Randall's after it, and they're coming back for a second. Not onto it properly, but down to the ground. It was nowhere near a chance at all. It was straight onto the ground. And Hughes to 35, and the total moving to 90.
Hughes here going back, sees the short one fairly quickly, goes back, changes his mind, and bottom edged it really. He is going to give that something.
And the appeal for leg before, but not out. Now Botham roaring that appeal. It was a very short ball.
Short one here, and that to me looks too high. And have a look where the wicketkeeper was going down the leg side. Generally a fair indication of the line of the ball. Watch the height and also where the wicketkeeper was going. Yes, certainly high.
Well, Darling facing Embury. And note that Embury is bowling without a slip. 6 onside fieldsmen. 2 men in close on the onside.
It's a better shot.
Well, there's the drive. It's straight down to Boycott. They take a single. Darling to 48, 1 for 91. So Botham from this end, and he'll bowl to Darling. And Darling gets his 50. He'll get 2 for that. Coming back for 2 and on for 3, and Darling moves from 48 to 51, his first half century of the series. And he's over the head of slip, a lucky one. It's going down to the boundary for 4. It was Gooch who dived or threw himself up in the air, and a lucky 4 to Hughes. He goes on to 39, and Australia 1 for 98.
56 overnight, now 98, with some very good batting, particularly by Hughes.
And here's a beautiful shot by Darling. It's through mid-wicket for 4 in the bowling of Embry. That shot that he likes so much through the mid-wicket area, and Darling moves on to 55, and that's the 100 for Australia. Australia 1 for 102. And on that note, we welcome Australia's greatest all-rounder, Keith Miller. Good afternoon, Keith.
Good afternoon, Jim and viewers. And we came on for the right time, because that's one of the nicest strokes played so far in this match. Beautiful stroke, just short of a length. He came across and hooked it out, and a rather vicious shot.
And it's Embry bowling to Darling.
Yes, and towards the close of play last night, I made mention that this pitch should be absolutely apple pie order after lunch, and it's been playing pretty good just last.
That shot again, doesn't he? Hook beautifully. Look at that go into the fence for 4. It hit the fence like a rocket. And Darling now moves on to 59, and it's 1 for 106. Anything short, and he pounds it. There's another hook shot. Is it 4? No. Well fielded out there on the fence by Miller as Darling comes back for his second run, and a beautiful throw by Miller from backward square.
Well, after that flurry of runs, we have the man who really pins the batsman down. That's Mike Hendrick. He's not the fastest bowler, but he is the most accurate bowler England has, and he's going to make runs a little hard to find, which is pretty good tactics by Brearley.
Once again on the onside. There could be 2 in this. The ball sped away fairly quickly. Yes, a comfortable 2 to Darling. Takes him on to 63. Oh, beautiful shot. Very classy leg cut. He's looking for 2. He'll have to run, but he's very fast and gets in quite comfortably. Good cricket. That was a good throw by Boycott too from third man. Oh, that's a good shot. That's hit high in the air. Is it 6? No, 4 runs. It's a good shot played by Hughes. He moves on to 47 and the total 1 for 123.
So Willis now to come in and bowl his first ball of the second session. Wide, and Hughes slashes. He's out. He's caught. Brilliantly caught. Is that Embry at mid-off?
Yes.
What a lovely catch. And Hughes really slashed at that ball. It was just a loosener from Willis. Fairly short.
The ball short, not really there to drive, and this was virtually a slash outside the off stump. Now, let's think back to the Melbourne Test. Let's think back to the second innings when Hughes batted well to score, I think, 48. And in the second innings, he was caught in identical fashion by Gower at cover.
So now it's the captain, Graham Yallop, who took over the gloves when John McLean left the field yesterday, who will now face his first ball from Bob Willis. Willis, the only wicket taker. Figures of 2 for 30.
So Darling it is. The form batsman, 69 to his name, to face Embry.
A 3-6 field, no slip. A little quicker. Perhaps the arm ball drifting away to the offside.
Yes, certainly no spin, no turn. Then again, there isn't much spin in this wicket.
Quicker, and Darling cuts delightfully away from Gooch's left hand at point. It's quite a chase out towards the boundary, and the batsmen have time to run back for an easy 3. Willis to Darling, and back and cuts again, cuts beautifully. Back very quickly and absolutely motionless, but Boycott fields from third man, just a single. Darling 73. Yallop now waiting his approach. Short, and Yallop hooks. Not a convincing hook, but he put it well over Gower's head at backward square leg. They'll take 2 as Boycott runs around from fine leg to field.
And after that ball, Willis stopped in his follow-through and put his hands on his knees with his head bowed. I don't know whether it was out of exasperation or just exhaustion.
He's walking down towards skipper Mike Brearley. John Embry just gives him a pat on the back. Conference there between the two, Brearley and Willis.
Yes,
certainly unwell.
Yes, I'm pretty sure that if he is unwell, it's certainly not...
he's going off the field, actually.
It's certainly not heat. I rather fancy that he might be ill.
That cut away, and that'll be 4 runs. The ball cut away off the pitch, and Yallop watched it very, very carefully, picked the gap between the gully and third slip.
So it's Botham bowling to Yallop, 2 for 146. No ball called by umpire Baelish, so Sundays move on to 14, and the total 2 for 147.
Yes, he really got himself into a bad position there. I think he's going to go for that one. That's come through a bit quicker than he anticipated.
That's a good shot. Yes, it could be 2 to Yallop. Timed nicely, fielded by Miller. And Yallop goes back to his second run, which takes him now on to 9, and the total 2 for 149, only 3 short of England's total. What would be your policy now, Bob, from the Australian batting point of view? Just try and get a few quick singles?
Yes, I think they should be trying to make the English fieldsmen work a bit harder, and also the bowlers. On a day like this, they've got to keep them moving in all the time if they can.
That's a good shot also from Yallop. Fieldsman out there, straight to him. And that's the 150 up to Australia. 2 for 150, and Yallop 10. An easy single for Darling. Takes him now on to 79, and the total 2 for 151. Both of them bowling to Yallop. Easy single to Yallop, and the scores are now level. Australia 2 for 152 in reply to England's total all out for 152. So it's a bonus situation now for every run scored by Australia from now on. Slower one, but he's hit that beautifully. That has gone into the fence for 4. Beautiful shot, a slower ball from Botham, and Darling picked that one up very, very well indeed and clobbered it into the fence for 4.
Very quick to pick this as a slower one, and the shortness of the delivery. Look how well across he is, and he's waited on that, and you won't get a better hook shot than that. Perfect position.
And now Darling, the batsman, without his helmet. Probably a little bit hot for him, that helmet, or whatever you call it. They wear a lot of
skull cap almost, isn't it?
Skull cap, yes.
Yes, it probably is. It's obviously quite heavy and hasn't got a lot of air holes in it. And I imagine even in batting an ordinary cap, you do get very hot.
Doesn't look like Darling, does it, without that helmet? But I can assure you it is. And there goes that hook shot again. He didn't quite time it. There'll be 2 or 3 in this. Being chased from the mid-on position by Edmonds. And that's a big hit by Yallop. That should be 4. It's a good shot. A slow ball from Embry, and he clobbered that one over and wide of mid-on into the fence in front of the Sheridan stand.
Yallop has got magnificent time. Look at the ease in which he just hits this. Just a little flick. Look at that. No effort whatsoever. Short backswing, a little chip shot to the green, Jim.
Yeah. Well, looks like a bowling change. We have Miller coming on in place of Embry. It's a good shot by Darling, resulting in a single, and Darling 9 short of his century.
Gooch to Yallop. That time he connected a beautiful shot from Yallop. That was a magnificent hit. He got right onto that. Yallop to 24, 2 for 178, and that's the 50 partnership. It's Miller with his spinners. He'll bowl to Darling, who's on 91. And is he caught? Yes, he's out. Yes, he's out. Darling caught by Botham. Bowled Miller for 91. Australia 3 for 178. And that's Miller's first wicket, 1 for 14.
And a beautiful catch. The ball spun, and that was a beautiful catch by Botham. It went straight, but he is very close to the bat. There we go. What's this man, Miller? Off spinner. Didn't go very high, as you can see, and Botham close up took a beautiful catch.
And Tui not getting a run there, but yes, there was a single there. Misfield by Gowan. They're 3 for 1. And a loud ball, of course, to greet Tui's first run. And it's 3 for 179. And he's caught. Yes, he's out. Tui caught Miller. Well, that was Gooch who caught the catch too. He caught Gooch, bowled both of them for 1. Australia 4 for 179. That wasn't a good shot. Now Australia has 2 left-handers at the crease in Yallop and Border. And away it goes from Border. Right inside that and sailing out to the mid-wicket boundary. A very confident shot indeed. So Border 4 for 184. And beaten, that one spun past the bat. A good ball from Embury.
Well, that gives you some indication what's to come in this match. That was a ball, the best spun more than any ball this match. And that was a very good ball and really beat Yallop.
And give himself room. He's cracked that through the field beautifully. And even though the ball's slowing down, there's nobody chasing it. And it's not into the fence yet. Now, a little boy picked it up. That may not have reached the fence, and the boys picked it up about 3 or 4 metres inside the boundary. I probably think they would have run for anyway. And he's lofted it straight over mid-on. That was a beautiful shot from Yallop. A very confident hit. Oh, Yallop to 36, 4 for 195, and Yallop running into top form out there now.
Yes, Yallop has got his confidence really going, and you can see this stroke, a lot of room out there, and he goes down, takes the punter and hits it beautifully. And at 40 odd he made in Melbourne was possibly the best innings he's played this year, and he's full of confidence.
And another cut, good shot. Chase for Embury, it mightn't be 4, they've taken 2, and round they go for 3.
Will that beat Brady? Yes, it does. A single. Broad grin on Lever's face as he sees his skipper crashing to the turf. And that brings up the 200 for Australia. Hendrick bowling to Yallop. Oh, and that's off the edge. What a great catch by this man, Botham. He is the most amazing cricketer. If he's not taking wickets or making runs, he's producing phenomenal catches. And that ball fairly flew off the edge from Australian captain Graham Yallop. And that was a most magnificent catch. Watch it again on the replay.
The ball wide of the off stump. Yallop tempted, going for the back foot square drive. Edges, and Botham takes the catch, going well to his left. And look how he hangs on to that. I think they'll need a hammer and chisel to get that ball out of his hand.
So a lot of responsibility on Borders and McLean's shoulders now. Australia holding a lead of only 58.
And that's a nick. Could be 4. We'll just wait and see. Been going into the fence for 4, yes, from an attempted drive. Got an outside edge. And that's the first boundary for quite some considerable time.
Appeal for leg before. He's out. Yes. McLean, leg before to Embury for 12. Border not out 24. Australia 6 for 235. And Embury now takes his first wicket, so it means that 5 English bowlers have each taken wickets.
That looked absolutely plumb, and you'll see the ball doesn't spin, which McLean paid for, and the ball goes straight.
So Rodney Hogg will replace McLean. And Hogg using his feet, but putting no power on the shot. There is a long off out there.
Hogg is going to his idea. There's a lot of space and no deep fieldsman on the onside. He intended to hit a ball out there.
There it goes, exactly, and a good shot. And he really got onto that. Straight over the top of mid-wicket, right in the middle of the bat, and 4 to Hogg. It's 6 for 239. Hendrick to Border. And he thought there's danger here. They're both down the same end. And they might get out of this. They could get out of it. No, he's run out. Hogg's out. That was absolutely stupid. That was one of the worst run-outs I think we've seen. It could have happened twice. They should have been run out at one end and then finally at the other. But Hogg has been run out for 6. And this is one of the worst you could ever see. A dreadful mix-up. It's 7 for 245.
And the fieldsman has done the wrong thing. He threw it the wrong end. Now let's watch this. Border plays. Now look at this. Yes, no, yes. Now Gower throws the wrong end and he got both together. Now, lucky enough, good back up, good throw back, and Hogg miles down the track.
Well, there's